Hello again, respiratory friends. I'm back in Montana at Fairmont Hot Springs. It's not what you're thinking though. This is actually a different video. Yep, I was here a month ago, but I'm back again. This time for the Montana Society of Respiratory Care annual conference. Let's check it out. So it's been about a month since I was at this exact conference site before, and I can't really complain. It's a hot springs resort. It's in a great location. Did have quite a bit of snow traveling this time, however, which here we're right now, it's the beginning of April, and my last conference here was the beginning of March. But spring in Montana always brings lots of heavy snow. And so that made traveling just a little bit more interesting this time around rather than some of the drier portions of the Montana winter. So even though I technically wasn't on the program to speak at this conference, I did end up giving a short presentation on licensure in Montana and some of the recent legislative updates that we have going on surrounding respiratory care and our license here in the state. Did I mention that it's a hot springs resort and they have a water slide? We've had a few things change over the last couple of years. One being that our CEU requirements have changed, and then also looking at respiratory care licensure compact. I know a lot of states are currently looking at that in their legislation. Looks like Montana's is most likely going to pass. Made it through the House, and now it's over on the Senate side being debated currently. So we'll see how that goes. This conference is a little bit different for me. I'm not formally speaking at this conference like I did at the Big Sky Pulmonary Conference last month, but I do have some speaking roles. I'm actually being the MC and main adjudicator for our Montana Sptum Bowl. It's a role that I've been doing for the last several years that it's been an honor to take over from one of my mentors who for a long time, for many decades, ran our Sptum Bowl here, and so now I'm happy to carry that torch. This is also a meaningful conference to me because I've served on the Montana Society Board for many years. When I first got into respiratory therapy, I came as a student, I presented for scholarship as a student and participated in the Sptum Bowl. And then when I got into education, I became a board member as a director and then as a delegate with the AARC House of Delegates for many years, chaired our bylaws committee for the state and for the AARC. So just lots of service memories with the MSRC. So that always makes it especially meaningful to come back to sort of like your home state and participate in your state conference.
Every day with COPD that have never had a spirometry. I've had people. I texted that David. Never thought.
So we get the LABA, which is vilanterol, and the steroid, which is fluticasone or fluticasone. Anybody else have a pronunciation they'd like to try? Gas therapy. You see this device and you notice that the intake port on the AEM or Venturi mask is set at 40%. But it's obstructed by the patient's bedding. What would you expect to happen to the FiO2? Green team.
Increase?
That is correct. It will increase. What is the boiling point for oxygen at 1 atmosphere? All right, we're going to move on.
Okay, respiratory friends, welcome to day 2 of the Montana Society Respiratory Care Conference. Last night I had the privilege of emceeing and hosting the Sptum Bowl. We had a fantastic turnout. Just about all of our attendees came to watch the Sptum Bowl. We had 7 teams, which was really good, and double elimination format. The top 3 were cashers and got scholarships for students or cash prizes for the therapists. And we had about half the teams were student teams, and then half the teams were therapists. We had a couple of the industry partner or vendor sponsors joining teams as well. So that's always, it makes it fun and exciting. Sometimes the answers may not always be correct, but they will definitely surprise you. So on day 2 of the Montana Society, we've got some great speakers lined up. We're going to hear from speakers here from the AARC. Yesterday we also heard from the NBRC. We've got a couple of other fellows of the AARC that are here speaking, which is great. Industry leaders in pulmonary function and diagnostics. So a good, well-rounded agenda by the board this year. We also have kind of an interesting, cool, novel talk that the state has provided a speaker from our Department of Health, and providing asthma statistics and information about the asthma programs, state-sponsored asthma programs here in Montana. So that's something new to this conference this year. Looking forward to that presentation as well. And I actually got to meet up with that speaker a month ago when I was here at the Fairmont Conference Center for the Big Sky Pulmonary Conference that I was speaking at. So I got to meet him at that point. And so it's good to see him again and sort of reconnect with a new colleague and a new contact. One of my favorite parts about Sptum Bowl and hosting Sptum Bowls is the team names. So the winner, shout out first of all, first place to the Wheezing Geezers. So some of our veteran, older respiratory therapists in the state. Wonderful name, but they took home the prize. They really rocked it, did really well, bringing back some of their knowledge from their many years of experience in the field, but also you could tell some of it was knowledge they retained from school. Some of the other notable names were the Bradypnea bunch. We had lung butter, we had mouth breathers. I always try to tell the teams early in the day when we're looking for teams to join and group up, just to make sure that their names are appropriate. If you've ever been to a Sptum Bowl, you've probably had some pretty crazy Sptum Bowl names. But this year, I'll have to say, my favorite one, I think that I've ever heard, was called Thoracic Park. Kind of a throwback to, of course, the Jurassic Park film series. But Thoracic Park was the name of this one student team here in Montana. I just got to say, I loved that. Myself and a couple of the board members from the Montana Society just were really taken back for some reason. We were like, why didn't we think of that name previously? But just a wonderful name. So kudos and shout out to those students. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up, the Montana Society for Respiratory Care Conference 2025 from Fairmont Hot Springs near Butte, Montana. You can see sunny blue skies in the background, but it's starting to snow anyway, which is always the way it seems to go here, driving home in the snow in April. So anyway, just want to thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you want more content like this, if you like the updates. And until next time, we'll see you later.